A company has an agenda. They want you to buy their product. And so they twist the truth a little bit to convince you, and you're hooked. We've all been prey to such marketing ploys, and doing research on the non sequitur and slippery slope fallacies has shown me methods behind such ploys, as well as ways that people communicate and persuade daily, including us. The slippery slope fallacy is actually a non sequitur type fallacy, and we will look at both today. Both of these, the slippery slope and non sequitur fallacies, put aside logical connections in order to sell service, idea, or product. Whatever they're trying to sell, they put aside logical connections to get it across. The method of argument in non sequitur is kind of a general type fallacy. It can have other fallacies grouped under it. There's a Latin phrase that means, well, the Latin phrase associated with it means it does not follow. So it's when there's a disconnect between the premise and the conclusion of the argument. It looks like this. Someone says A is B, and C is D. Therefore, A is not B. Now, you see that C is D didn't prove that A is not B. Complete disconnect. This should not have come from these two statements. So say a police officer is in a case in court and they haven't been able to solve it. So he says, we've tried lots of different methods and haven't been able to solve this case, so we should hire a psychic to help the investigators solve the case. You see the clear disconnect. Nothing in what he said previously had shown that a psychic should be hired. Or a child says to their mom, today is Monday, and ice cream is really yummy, so we should eat ice cream today. Nice try, but it doesn't work. A scientific example could be found in the saying that warming, like global warming, is caused by sunspots and fluctuations in the Earth's orbit and volcanic eruptions and stuff. Therefore, it was not caused by man. This one's a little trickier, it seems a little closer, but if you look at it again, nothing in those scientific facts said that man had nothing to do with the global warming. So, just because one thing is true, and someone thinks that there's this or this other answer to it, doesn't mean that that actually logically follows. So next, the slippery slope fallacy, we're zooming in a little bit from non sequitur type fallacies to this one. The Latin phrase associated with this one is non causa pro causa, and that means no cause for cause. It looks like this. If A, then B will happen, and C will happen because B happened, and D will happen because C, all the way down to Z. Now Z is unwanted, and so the fallacy says that since A could lead to Z, and Z is unwanted, don't do A. It uses a continuum that is slippery because there's no clear distinction or no clear connection between the items, and that's the slope. So a bald head to a hairy head is the continuum or the slope, and there's no real marks, so it makes that slope or that continuum slippery. There's a commercial that we probably all saw that shows elderly people going out and having a good time and eating Taco Bell, right? And so the argument behind that, if you think about it, is they're eating Taco Bell, they're having fun. So if I eat Taco Bell, I'm going to be smiling, my friends are going to be there eating Taco Bell, they're going to be smiling, we're going to be laughing, and we're just going to be having a good time, and my life is going to be great because I ate Taco Bell. Could happen, but it's a really slippery slope. So, one teacher once said that she had a fear that if she bought a horse, the horse could possibly get out, get hit by a car, and she could get sued for that. So thrown in jail, her kids would be put into foster care and abused. So, because A, she got a horse, Z could happen, her kids could be abused, Z is unwanted, so she shouldn't get a horse. Slippery slope fallacy. Now, this is not always a fallacy. The strength of the argument is more when there are less items. So say we go from A to G, that's a stronger argument, right? And it's less of a fallacy. And the connection, if the connection is stronger between each item, then obviously you have a stronger argument. So having looked at these two and seeing how connections and logic are thrown out the window in order to get an agenda across or convince someone of something, pay attention. And you'll see them in everyday life. You'll see them on TV, in marketing, and in the way people talk to each other and try to persuade each other. So don't lie to people with your